Happy late morning, early lunch, guys. Kind of in between here because, yeah, I'm still canning pulled pork. So I really didn't feel like recording the video over the canner. So didn't want to frustrate everybody trying to listen to it here. But it brings up a really good point. How many times have you heard from all sorts of people, there's no food problem. Yeah, things are a little more expensive, but there's plenty of food on the shelves at the store and everything, right? Okay. Yeah, there's stuff on the shelves. You might want to consider taking a look at the expiration dates, or at least the best buy dates on them. Story out this morning in the UK by the BBC. 20%, 1 in 5 British families are eating food that is either expired or past the best buy date. Okay, now y'all know as well as I do that the best buy date is not, oh my God, the food's now poison or anything like that. Sure, okay, but what you don't, some people still think that, and some people don't understand. The best buy date is when the food starts to maybe taste a little different, or the nutritional value isn't what it was when it was canned or whatever. It starts degrading, okay? Not saying it's not safe to eat, but, obviously if you open up a can of beans and it's got mold on it, or it stinks, doesn't smell right, throw it out, okay? But here's the problem. If 1 in 5 people are eating old food, let's just leave it that. What happens when things get a little bit worse? Okay, what happens this year? What happens if the crops don't come in? What happens if food continues to get more and more expensive? Now, y'all are probably like me, and you will go to your local grocery store and you will check out that rack, which is stuff that expires today or tomorrow. You'll look for the stuff that's on sale and take it home and can it or preserve it somehow, smoke it or salt it, or probably not a whole lot of people salting stuff yet, but we're getting there. But this brings up the other part, okay? And we take a look at Great Britain, right, where this is all going on. What is the propensity for making more food? So we get into population density, and this is important. And everybody's going to go, this is boring as hell. I want you to think about this. The current population density of the UK is 278 people per square kilometer. Okay? All know Great Britain is basically a big island. Right? There's not that much land. Comparatively, the population density of the United States is about 35 people per square kilometer, all right? So we are, 7, 8 times less populated by geographic area than Great Britain. Now, doesn't mean the U.S. is riding on easy street. You're not going to do a whole lot of planting in the Rocky Mountains. You're certainly not going to be able to do a whole lot of planting in the desert. But can we grow more food? Yes, which is the exact reason why the United States is so sought after by, we'll call them enemy countries. People talk about, oh my God, we're going to get nuked or whatever would be. And I'm still an absolute firm believer that won't happen, because they do not want to poison the land that could feasibly feed their population. I mean, come on, let's talk about it. There's over 2 billion screaming Chinese. There's damn near 2 billion Indians. Okay, they need to feed the people somehow. There's a reason why China is stockpiling all this grain and everything constantly. It's to feed their people. Now, I want to give you this as a thought. When you're talking about the amount of land in the UK that can be farmed, that can be used to raise cattle or sheep or goats or whatever. Great Britain is the 20th most densely populated country in the world. There's a lot of other countries that are a lot more, okay? The United States is 54th, to give you that idea. Most of Europe is more densely populated than the United States. Matter of fact, 21 countries in Europe are more densely populated than the United States. Europe is 4 million square miles. The United States is 3.5 million. Our country is nearly the same size as the entire continent of Europe. How much of it is farmable? I mean, you have people, cities, towns, we all see over and over and over again, the farmland is shrinking. Oh, somebody came in and bought the farmland and they built a new subdivision in there. Smaller and smaller and smaller, less and less and less farms. More people, we just crossed 8 billion people in the world, but less food production. This is what we're getting into. You want to talk about the United States? Let's take a look at some of the states that are more densely populated than Great Britain. It's primarily New England. If you live up there, guys, some of you guys know. New Jersey is the most densely populated state in the country. Okay, Washington, D.C. is not a state, but Washington, D.C. is the most densely populated territory. You add Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and there was one more. I forget what it was, but it was also in New England. Okay. So you start thinking about where the people are and where the food is. What happens when you go to the grocery store? How many times have you gone to the grocery store and you pick up a can, and I'd advise everybody to do this when you're looking at canned goods or looking at fresh meat or whatever. Look at the expiration dates, especially on meat, okay? Because you'd be amazed how much you see that has an expiration date of, January 28th. Today's January 30th, and it's still on the shelf, okay? Or you go into the store and see the canned goods is best by April of 2020, and it's 2023. It ain't just happening in convenience stores anymore, guys. This is your mainstream grocery stores. This is why it's so important for us, as we see things on sale, like I told you guys the other day about me finding pork butts and chicken breasts. And funny is, a few of you guys said you saw the same thing for the same products. So I don't know what's going on there, that all of a sudden chicken breasts and pork butt is on sale all over the place. If we've got a glut of this stuff, go out and get it and preserve it somehow, because that may be the option of what you have to eat coming this year, unless you want to eat outdated, we'll use that term, outdated food. Yeah, grow your own. I mean, I told you the story last week about not being able to find butter. We were at 2 stores Saturday. One didn't have any carrots. The other store had enough, so we were fine. We were able to get carrots. Okay. Don't have any. You guys know my problem with growing carrots. We'll try again this year. Different way of doing it. But start really seriously looking at how to preserve your food. If you don't know how to can, learn, okay? If you don't know how to dehydrate or don't have a dehydrator, get one, okay? I'm not talking about a freeze dryer. Yes, I know 99% of us can't afford $4,000 for a freeze dryer, okay? But get out, learn how to make things like beef jerky, do that in your oven, okay? Or drying fruits in a dehydrator or whatever, freezing stuff, depending on what you have in the way of freezer space. If 1 in 5 Brits are eating outdated food, how many times have I said before, watch what happens in Europe and expect it to happen here soon. Pinball out.